Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the sexy ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. We're going to talk about SmackDown, and welcome to the New World Podcast, brother. June 16th, 2023 edition. Michael Cole, Wade Barrett on commentary. We're in the University of Kentucky. We started off with the Usos package from last week, everything that was going on, and tonight's big question is, what's Jay's decision? What is he going to, who is he going to choose? His brother or the tribal chief? It was a great thread throughout this whole show. We had Kayla Braxton backstage as Roman, Solo, and Heyman roll up, and she tried to get an interview with Roman and Heyman. Heyman, they just ignored her, brushed her off, and walked. Because we're like, we're excited. We're like, holy shit, what is Jay going to do? Then we started off with a great tag team gauntlet match. Number one contenders, who's going to face Sammy and Kevin Owens in 2 weeks on SmackDown in the UK because we got Money in the Bank coming up. We started off with the Street Profits and the Brawling Brutes. And I thought Brawling Brutes was going to go all the way because they eliminated Street Profits. Then they eliminated the OC. Then they eliminated LWO, no, they eliminated Hit Row, right? No, I'm looking at my notes here. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. And then Hit Row got eliminated. And then, Pretty Deadly beat the Brawling Brutes. And I was like, damn. 5 great teams, man. And Pretty Deadly, I'm excited. My wife was like, who are these two? And I'm like, oh, they're awesome. I go, they come from NXT. This is a big opportunity for them to, to go for those tag team titles. Sammy and Kevin Owens come out and they get a confrontation and, and just the interaction between these two teams, it just seems so fresh. We're not dealing with Usos and KO and Sammy or anything like that. We're dealing with something fresh and new, and I cannot wait for next week how we build more towards this big match in 2 weeks. So it'll be Pretty Deadly versus Sammy and KO for the undisputed tag team championships. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, and I think the promos are just going to be great too. Roman backstage with Solo and Paul. It's such a feel big, heavy moments in this show where he's like, man, we're going to get to it. We're going to end this show, and it's going to be like do or die, Jay, do or die. Io Sky versus Zelina Vega. This was a good match, but Bayley, causing Io to lose, and will we see this turn because Zelina Vega got the win? And, will they turn on each other at Money in the Bank? Will Io have enough of Bayley, doesn't want to put up with the shit anymore, okay? I don't know why I brain farted that. But will Io turn on Bayley at Money in the Bank? I think so. I think Io's going to be a big baby face and possibly win that Money in the Bank and then cash in to face Asuka. That's what I'm just thinking. Asuka package from last week, then Adam Pearce is backstage. Bianca's like, hey, what's going on? I'm going to do it my way then. And Adam's like, no, he's losing. He's losing this, Bayley and Io's backstage, that little bit of tension interrupted by Shotzi, and then Shotzi tells Bayley, like, yo, put your spot in the Money in the Bank on the line. And Io's like, yeah. She accepts, because Bayley does that to Io. And I was like, oh, and Bayley's like, wait, whoa, hold the fuck up. What are you doing? She's like, I just do what you do. You do it for me, I do it for you, right? We're a team, right? Grayson Waller effect with Charlotte Flair. Bianca comes out. Charlotte Flair, going toe-to-toe with Grayson Waller. I like the Grayson Waller effect. He didn't have all his social media things going on, though, I noticed for the show. But, Bianca comes out. She's had enough. Charlotte Flair, because Charlotte Flair is having a championship match with Asuka, and Bianca's kind of pissed because he's like, you just stepped in and you took my spot, even though she's supposed to have a rematch. Building more on that story. Jay backstage. And, it's basically, are you in or are you out? And I like that thread of mafia style. The family's going to come to you and be like, hey, what's going on? More Roman Solo, Heyman backstage, Kayla with Cameron Grimes, but Cameron Grimes gets attacked by Baron Corbin because Baron Corbin's like, hey, returning the favor for what you've done. We had a Rey Mysterio promo, Santos Escobar, talk about his big Money in the Bank match, interrupted by LA Knight. Well, they had a match, Santos versus LA Knight. Santos for the win. I'm thinking LA Knight's going to win the Money in the Bank, but I could be wrong. Santos Escobar could win it. There's a lot going to happen and go on, and I'm excited for Money in the Bank just to see where we're going to go. Are we building towards this? Are we building towards that? Because Cody's nowhere even near the Money in the Bank. He's facing Dominic Mysterio. So I remember my theory was like, oh my God, Cody's going to win and he's going to cash it in. Then we're going to get Roman. But now we're going in a totally different direction with a lot of this. And if you look at the men's, there's a lot of fresh new blood in that men's Money in the Bank. And there's some fresh blood in the women's Money in the Bank. So sky's the limit when it comes to Money in the Bank itself. It's just a big story to tell with these awesome superstars. Now, the meats and potatoes, folks, right here. Roman, Solo, Paul come out. And this was the last, 15 minutes of the show, basically, all given to the Bloodline. All things come around and come full circle. Roman does, acknowledge me, blah, blah, blah. But Jay comes out and, he's like, he's like, yo, it's either me or the wise man. And Roman's like, yo, you can have whatever wise man you want. You can have a wise man. Jimmy could have a wise man, but this is my wise man. So don't make me choose between you two, because Paul's going to stay, Puppet Master Paul. And one of my biggest things from this is, why is he still have Paul carrying around both titles, and he's carrying around the new championship, which is supposed to be the combination of the two? Got 3 titles going on. Roman, that's not how it works, I don't know why. I was just like, if we're going to showcase this new title, we don't need the other titles there anymore. They're done. They're gone. This is what you have now. It was just a slightly annoying thing in my mind, because I kept seeing, I was just like, man, why are you rocking 3 belts now? You don't need to be rocking 3 belts unless next week or when we see you again, you're just going to have the one, which I think it is. You need to do. But Jimmy comes out and Roman does some mind games like, hey, man, when we made you the right hand man, you want to know who had a problem? And it was Jimmy. And Jimmy's like, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, Oos. He's like, yeah, I had a problem. He's like, we're brothers. You doubted me? He's like, I didn't doubt you. It was all this tension because when he was, Jay just goes off and he's like, when you got hurt, I found it as a blessing and an opportunity. And this man gave me the opportunity. I became the main eventing pay-per-views, blah, blah, blah. And it was some real emotion. And then using some real names, and right where it got me, right in the throat, the lump of the, I was just like, I was like, oh man. And he's like, you're out. I was like, holy shit, and then he's like, I'm out too. Bam! Super kicks Roman. I'm like, oh my God. I looked like Paul Heyman. I was like, whoa. Then Solo got hit. Then, the ones were up, man. Usos, that crowd exploded. I exploded, man. I was just like, this is awesome. All this coming down, the Bloodline is over. And now it's just Roman basically pretty much all alone, except with Solo and Heyman. But talk about 3 years in the making of this storyline, coming down to it, to Usos being done with Roman Reigns. And now, who will step up to Roman? Or will we have that tag team match out, as I'm thinking, the Usos versus Roman and Solo? And it's slowly coming down. The Empire is crumbling apart at Roman's feet. And then they had a, exclusive, what happened after the match, backstage stuff. Not backstage stuff, exclusive, after the, that's how we ended the show, and, with them but both of them kicking Roman. And digital exclusive was like them walking out. This was after the show, after they went live. And Roman's just there and he gets up and that crowd's like, you deserve it. Dun, 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 you deserve it. And I was just like, damn. Such a satisfying ending, man. And now, where do we go? What's next? One of the Usos are going to step up to Roman, and one of the Usos is going to step up to Solo, or it's just going to be a tag team thing just to finally blow it all off. Then Roman can go off, and Solo can go off and do their thing. And with Paul, I don't know what they're going to do with Paul, but man, 3 years of this coming down, like talking about one of the longest stories in pro wrestling, and it all coming to a close like this. Or is it closed? Question mark. Because, there's been times like with the Sammy stuff and this and that. But, man, it's such a fun ride. And that's just the thrill of professional wrestling itself. I saw someone comment on a clip I posted of that. And they're like, man, the OGs, blah, blah, Shawn Michaels. I don't know. It was a stupid comment. And I was like, you don't watch wrestling, do you? Like people who make weird comments like that, like, oh, blah, 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 when they don't even know what they're talking about, I'm just like, just stop, okay? At least give it a try, at least watch the product before you can comment on the product. I don't know. It's just funny to me. But old school wrestling fans who don't even watch modern stuff is like, oh my, oh geez, Shawn Michaels, don't need to use a super kick. Everyone uses the super kick, man. It's not a finisher anymore. So I don't know. It just makes me laugh when people talk on things that they really just don't know what they're talking about. So, all right, y'all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Were you like lump in the throat when Jay finally picked Jimmy and he kicked Roman? I was like, and then they double super kick to Roman, just a nail in the coffin. Tell me what you thought of the show. I give the show a solid 5 out of 5. That gauntlet match started off really, really great. And I like that now we're building tension between Bailey and Io Sky. Also, too, a match I kind of went over by accident. Michin and AJ Styles versus Cross and Scarlett. Cross and Scarlett for the win. I really don't know what we're doing here. Like, Scarlett got AJ Styles last week, and Michin tried to step in. They're like, yo, mixed tag team. Cross and Scarlett for the win. So now they got, basically 2 over AJ Styles. I don't know what we're doing here. So, we'll see. Maybe we'll finally get a one-on-one between these two. But all right, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
You out! And I'm out too.
Oh my God!